Welcome, everyone, to the Wealth Expedition podcast, where we're going to take a journey to explore what it truly means to be wealthy in the fullest sense of the term, and also offer practical financial education along the way. My name is Daniel Lancaster. I'm a CFA charter holder with well over a decade of experience helping clients across the US and the UK reach their financial and life goals. Nowadays, I'm no longer an advisor to just a few hundred clients, but I aim to disseminate and teach the knowledge I've picked up along the way as I've learned from millionaires around the world. So why have I left the financial advising industry and decided to start an education-based company, including this podcast? Well, for one thing, I could probably start a hedge fund or a wealth management firm and probably make a lot of money. I may choose to do that one day, actually. I don't know. But one thing you'll learn about me is that I'm very interested in wealth as a whole. And that means the wealth of one's time, flexibility, purpose, and also money. I like money just as much as the next person, of course. But you know what else I like is the flexibility to travel, the ability to work any time of day rather than be at my desk by 7 or 8 every morning. I like the ability to spend time with my wife and kids and build my workday around them rather than build my time with them around my workday. For example, just this week we decided to just take a half day Monday and take the kids to a local theme park. So that's what we did, and it was a blast. I want to be wealthy across the entire spectrum of what is truly valuable to me personally. Maybe one day I'll want to start a hedge fund, but right now I'm in a stage of life where you and I can both benefit from the way I've decided to share the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years. Here's a huge benefit for you. The second reason I'm in the business of financial education, rather than advising or running a hedge fund, is that financial advisory firms are often drawn to those who have already amassed a small fortune. We're talking at least hundreds of thousands of dollars and preferably millions. And rightly so, because obviously that's their business model. A percentage of $1 million is far more worth their time than a percentage of $100,000 or less. But that leaves out the younger crowd who's left to sort of learn investing and financial concepts on their own without much of a guide. And while the concepts I teach and discuss can apply to anyone of any age or net worth, I specifically enjoy knowing that I can reach the younger crowd with the knowledge and practical strategies that can really transform the way they live and work. Now, here's the thing. I teach financial concepts on my website, thewealthexpedition.com, and in my weekly newsletter, which I encourage you to subscribe to. But there's a blueprint that I followed in implementing these strategies, which I teach in a combination of 2 courses, one focused on budgeting and one on investing. These 2 courses together teach the concepts and strategy of what I mean when I say a wealth expedition. It is the complete transformation of your financial situation, regardless of whether you're buried in debt, making below average income, stuck in a job you can't stand, or any combination of the above. And I teach how you can transform your life using disciplined principles if you have the desire and drive to achieve it, all with a focus on maintaining balance so that one element of wealth, like time and flexibility, is not sacrificed at the expense of accumulating money. I created this podcast because I know many professionals feel stuck financially, and I want to share the tidbits of wisdom and actionable strategies that I've learned from others over the years to help you gain control of your future. If you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s making decent money but unsure how to turn it into long-term wealth, this podcast is for you. If you're outside that age range, you can still massively benefit from this podcast. Any and all are welcome and encouraged to walk this journey with me. Now, you may be wondering who I am personally, so let me give you a brief introduction. I've been in the finance world for years. By age 15, I knew I wanted to earn a degree in finance, which I proceeded to do. I went on to become a financial planner and advisor to US clients, later extending that influence to clients across the UK. I earned my CFA charter in 2021, which stands for Chartered Financial Analyst, and it's considered the gold standard for fund managers and professional investors around the world. Along my own journey, I've seen how small, smart decisions can completely change someone's future, particularly my own as I continued to implement what I learned over the years. In mid-2024, I walked away from my job and decided to travel Europe for close to 3 months with my wife and 2 young daughters. We stayed for a month in the ancient Italian town of Matera, which is also the site where movies have been shot like 007, No Time to Die, and The Passion of the Christ. It was a surreal experience, to say the least. We took a ferry then across the Adriatic and stayed for a few weeks in the old seaside walled city of Dubrovnik, Croatia, where movies and shows also have been filmed, most famously Game of Thrones. And we topped off our adventure with a few weeks' stay on the mountainside of Mount Parnassus, just around the corner from the ancient Greek city of Delphi. It was a transformative experience for us all, and one which fulfilled a deep and long-held desire to slow travel in Europe. Now, we've always been a traveling family. As of this recording, I've traveled to 16 different countries, many with repeat visits, but what I really wanted to experience was to live in those countries, to shop at their local markets, to learn what daily life looked like, to meet and speak with the locals, and to casually stroll from day to day without being in a rush to see or do anything in particular. That's what the slow travel experience offered me. The funny thing about achieving a goal is that new goals then present themselves to you once you conquer one mountain. You see a landscape that you couldn't see before through the cloud of the most important goal. Once it's achieved, you can see clearer and further. I often thought of the ancient proverb attributed to King Solomon: "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life," which comes from Proverbs 13:12. Here's what I think that means for you. There are trees of life, so to speak, that you can open up and unlock with small, disciplined changes in habit in combination with a little bit of better than average knowledge about finance. And you can fulfill big goals in a short amount of time that compound toward the total wealth picture of reclaiming your time, flexibility, purpose, and of course, generating massive amounts of money. In the same way that wealth is much more than money, investing is also much more than putting money in the stock market. That perspective can free your mind into looking at new horizons, perhaps that you never saw before or even thought possible. While it's laid out in detail and in a step-by-step way in my courses, the concepts will color everything I say and teach on this podcast. Aside from even the practical knowledge you gain here, most importantly, I hope that you come away inspired to think from a new perspective and view wealth in a new way, which helps you navigate the various responsibilities, challenges, and opportunities of life in a way which leads you to real improvements of how you live and work. We live in an unprecedented time of history, one in which so many positive developments have occurred overall that it's hard to even remember some of the challenges of even 20 years ago, much less a century or more ago. But with the improvements have also come major differences in the way we live life, the way we communicate, the way we make money, the way we eat, the way we're entertained, and just about every other aspect of life. With so much change, we've had to face ways of doing things which sometimes are improvements, but also sometimes detract from what it means to be human in the fullest sense of the term. The elements of technology and society that have made modern life so easy in many ways has also caused important elements of human society to atrophy, like a muscle that goes unused. In the midst of busy life, in the midst of challenges and even fear of the unknown, it's so important that we step back and look at our life from the sense of purpose. What is easy is not always what's best. No one wants to watch a movie or read a book where the main character encounters no serious challenges, but they often act as though they want to live a life with as few uncertainties and challenges as possible. At the end of the day, no one is going to actually admit to wanting a status quo kind of life. No one really wants a life full of easy wins. In the same way that stories touch us deepest when the protagonist conquers the greatest enemy, in an even fuller sense, we are touched when we ourselves conquer our greatest obstacles and fears. The key is to identify and differentiate between those things which truly enrich our lives and those things which are actually silent leeches that are holding us back from our full potential, both monetarily and personally. Money without the character necessary to obtain and keep it will only act like a curse, but a transformed mind, with or without money, will inevitably lead to whatever wealth that mind defines as truly valuable, be it money, influence, love, or any other cause it deems valuable. In summary, with this podcast, we're going to explore the abstract as well as the practical side of building wealth. If you enjoy this topic and are eager to transform the way you think about wealth and your understanding of finance, I encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and even share the podcast with anyone you think would benefit from it as well. You can also find me online at thewealthexpedition.com, where you can subscribe to the weekly newsletter, and when you're ready, take the 2 foundational courses that teach the full spectrum of taking your own personal wealth expedition from start to finish. And finally, I'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments or would like to see any particular subjects discussed in upcoming episodes, I welcome you to drop me a message on the website contact page. I'm excited to walk with you through this journey, exploring the fascinating topic of comprehensive wealth and personal finance, and hearing how you accelerate toward achieving your life goals in the days and even years ahead. Stay tuned for future episodes. I'll see you very soon.